All right, Thor and I are going to have a quick debate because we can no longer legally get into fist fights to keep us sharp, all right? And iron sharpeth iron. We're going to debate the best band of all time, and I'm going to go with Pink Floyd. He's going to go with the Allman Brothers, I believe. Pink Floyd was a band that everybody's heads turn when they hear Money, it's a hit, right? Or we don't need no education. Everybody knows those songs. Everybody knows Dark Side of the Moon. And a lot of people had the best acid trips of their life listening to Pink Floyd. I mean, it just happened. But Pink Floyd was a band that was started by four of the most intellectual people in music. They all were from Cambridge, and they met at architecture school. They were all undergrads. They were all going to be architects, and they all liked to jam. Now, the most notable member of Pink Floyd, actually, there's two. You have David Gilmour and Roger Waters. David Gilmour was such a phenomenal guitarist. He changed the way that guitarists approach the instrument and the style of playing. He created a whole style. You want to talk about prog rock, psychedelic rock, space rock. It's Pink Floyd, it's Dave Gilmour, Roger Waters in the studio, tweaking with amplifiers, tweaking with pots and pans and spoons and forks and just common household items, and messing with synthesizers beyond belief to get that precise sound that they wanted. That was Pink Floyd, dedicated. They would go hours and hours and hours and hours and hours playing the same note on different instruments, on synthesizers, until one of them popped their head up and said, "Yeah, that's it. That's the one." Sid Barrett, the founder of the band, phenomenal. His writing and his ideas were so abstract yet so clear and just obvious. It was crazy because you didn't know what he was talking about. I've got a bike. It's a very, very fun bike. You know, he would talk about dragons and mythology and all kinds of stuff. And people got into it. You know, I've read online that within the years of 1967 to 72, there was a song by Pink Floyd, I believe it was called Emily, and the Emilys in Britain went up as babies were named Emily through the roof. Through the roof. That's the kind of um, oh man, I'm blanking. That's the kind of things that Pink Floyd were able to do. Roger Waters, I throw him in the same boat as John Lennon. I think he was a better composer, better writer. Um, the Wall is the longest best-selling album of all time. And David Gilmour has been knighted, so he's Sir David Gilmour. Nick Mason is a great, great intellectual. Wake up, buddy, come on. I'm serious. This is Pink Floyd here. He races cars. That's his hobby. Uh, Mr. Mason, their piano player, very talented. Played with a lot of big names. I don't know off the top of my head. And Pink Floyd was in existence for about 10, 20. I think the last album was in 92. But Roger Waters um, left in 76. So I'm boring the hell out of Thor here. Anyway, Pink Floyd, they've changed music forever. Um, Without Pink Floyd, music would not be where it is today, especially not the prog rock scene and the psychedelic. So that's my take on it. Have at it.
Well, that was nice. That was well argued, but I just want to bring you up. In 1776 through approximately 1814, we kicked those people out of here. We don't appreciate them. We don't like those devil worshiping kings and queens, along with their devil worshiping evil subjects, which these people are obviously part of it because they supported drugs and whatever. They might have been very talented, but you know, anybody, if you sell your soul to the devil, will have some talent, I'm sure. So let's talk about a real band. Rather than some alien, far off band, I am talking about a band that was playing when I was a kid. I heard these sounds when I was a child. These people, Greg Allman, for instance, is roughly 5 or 6 years older than me. He's from the same area of the country as me. Been with a lot more women, a lot cooler than me, but still, we're both Southern boys. He's a Southern boy. He and his brother started a band in the late 60s, early 70s called the Allman Brothers. And they wrote countless songs. They represented a way of life. They represented a thing about music. And they changed culture. When they started, we had a segregated society, and they were bold enough to have a black member in their band. And when J-Mo asked Dwayne, why do you want two drummers in your band and two guitarists and two bassists? And he goes, hey man, that's because that's the way Otis Redding has it. That's what he said. He said that's the way Otis Redding and another guy said. I forgot the name. Can't remember right now. But he wanted to change music. Dwayne, if he would have died in 1972, when he died in 1972, the band would still be talked about. But the band is still in existence today. It still has members. It still has a new generation. The children of the founding members are still in the band, and Greg is still in the band. Derek Trucks, the son of Butch Trucks, is a phenomenal guitar player, and some say he's even better than Dwayne was. And Dwayne at one time was the second-rated guitarist player behind Jimi Hendrix of all time. Richard Betts, who was also the guitarist, was number 45 of the greatest guitarists. Richard Betts wrote some classics. He wrote In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. He wrote many songs. And he would say he would spend weeks just coming up with the names of his songs just for those to do that. And don't kid yourself. If it hadn't been for the music of the Southern bands, there wouldn't have been this mass acceptance of black people by white people in the South. They had a lot to do with it. They were very bold. They had courage to go out and play their music. And several of the members of the band gave their life for that. You know, there are two of the main founders of the band are dead. You know, and they represent an aspect of American music from the South, the Southern music that is still in today, that is being played with all this country musician, all the rock musicians. None of that stuff would be in existence today without the Allman Brothers. It would be hard to esteem their importance. So I just like to finish up and say this debate that we're having is absurd, silly, and stupid. Because all these people, this band here, these bunch of English homosexuals that he likes, whether they're homosexuals or not, they're English, and I don't have a whole lot of use for them, but they're still very talented people, and I have no right to say any of those things. I know nothing that I'm talking about. I'm only kidding. More power to you. More power to every band, and if that's your favorite band, then you have every right to say it. Go ahead, finish this out.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the Beatles.
Well, we got 10 minutes, so close it out.
Because I'm American. I'm American as it gets. But
I hate them.
If I'm going to put anybody against the Beatles or Pink Floyd, I'm going to put in Chicago.
Good.
That's what I'm going to put in. But the Beatles, they were together.
You haven't liked any bands that aren't dead? Where all the members are dead?
Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
number
you know
one
when
band.
they're dead? They're
Rolling
all dead.
Stones.
They're 150 years old, aren't they?
The Rolling Stones have been.
Hey guys, you're 21. Like your own people.
Rolling Stones.
You don't need to like your grandpa's music. Grow up.
43 years.
These
in
people are all
existence.
dead.
U2, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Rush, Neil Peart.
A little better.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Out.
Out.